How do we evaluate speaking? It's an important question, and it becomes much more important as Common Core assessments come online, and we're going to be asked to, in some consistent, logical way, evaluate all of our students as they speak. At the core of the question is this question: what are the pieces of effective speaking? That is to say, if somebody came up to you and said, I want to be a great speaker, what do I have to do? What do you tell them? What are the pieces that they have to have in place? When I ask that question at workshops, I get these sorts of answers. Now, some of these are not friendly words for students. More importantly, some of these are flat out wrong. For instance, rhythm. You would think it odd if I had rhythm in my speech. It's very good for greeting cards, but not something to teach. Speaking slowly is wrong. Often, if you're telling an exciting story about what happened in the game when we came into the final minutes and the final score was, you got to speed up for that. Enthusiasm, often wrong. If you're describing your grandmother's death and funeral, enthusiasm may not be what we're going for. Expression, facial or vocal. Pitch, good for choir, but probably not important in a speech. You see the problem. We're not exactly sure, but in any event, if we had this dizzying array of terms, students would never figure out what it took to be an effective speaker. If you go get help online, you don't find much. PD360 suggests this is what it takes. Now let me color code these according to my concept of building a speech and performing a speech. That is to say, the distinction between what you do before you open your mouth and what you do as you are speaking. PD360 says that before you open your mouth, you have to worry about word choice and grammar. That's it? I think there's much more involved than that. As you're performing the speech, PD360 thinks you need to worry about articulation and enunciation. I think those are synonyms. You have to worry about volume and projection. I think those are synonyms. But if I spoke clearly with nice volume, made eye contact, moved my body, and showed up, would that be a great speech? No. I could speak in a monotone at a very high rate. So more is required. I don't get help there. Read, write, think. Profoundly disturbing that it's not read, write, speak, think. They say I need eye contact, body language, and poise. Okay. Enthusiasm, wrong. Elocution, not kid-friendly. I think that's what we do to prisoners in Texas. And Read, Write, Think has on their speaking rubric no misspellings. Hard to believe that belongs on a rubric for a speech, but maybe you didn't notice when I said speech just a second ago, I said S-P-E-A-C-H. But I think it's mostly clueless to talk about spelling on a speech. When I work with teachers, I see things like this. Highly effective enunciation, as if that conveys something to students. Not just enunciation, but highly effective enunciation. Expression, again, verbal, facial, rhythm, no. I see often, speak loudly, clearly, and slowly. I don't know why those three come together, but two of the three are wrong, as we discussed before. I see rubrics such as this. People jumble things together. First of all, we have study skills, complete and on time. We have something that you'll never know. Preparation and practice are evident. You don't know that. Some kids will work very, very hard, but nerves will get the better of them on presentation day. Other kids are naturally glib. But I also have building a speech things mixed in with performing a speech. I want you to have a good opening and conclusion, and I build that before I say a word. I want you to make eye contact as you are speaking. So I don't like that we jumble these things together. And sometimes we jumble them in an even more problematic manner. Consider this one. What if I'm 2 days late with completing my project, but I have an appropriate detailed illustration, but I have limited examples of foreshadowing, suspense, and cliffhangers, but I have no errors in spelling and punctuation as I am talking? How can you put all these different things into one number? You can't. It makes no sense. The only effective way to score speaking is to break it into the two pieces, building a speech and performing a speech. Take that mystery book, for instance, and this is what I want you to do as you build the speech. I want you to think about the audience. This is what I want for the content of this speech. Of course, we always want organization. You want visual aids sometimes. In this case, they didn't have to dress up in any particular way. But this is what we do before we speak. We worry about audience, content, organization, and visual aids. And this may change from speech to speech. As we are performing, this is what we care about. Poise, voice, life, eye contact, gestures, and speed, and that never changes. I want PV legs, whether you're talking to me one-on-one or in a discussion or making the presentation. And all of those terms that we saw at the start of this instruction fit in here. But this is a way that kids can grasp it. It's a 6-trait speaking. They understand PV legs. It works for all speeches. So to be effective, let's change what we do and give kids a chance to have a workable, understandable way of approaching the complex art of speaking.